Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to the battleground of the Las Vegas Strip circuit for round 18, one of the most pivotal races in the SFR Championship in season 18, and it's under the lights of the most extravagant cities on earth. The spotlight tonight shines firmly on two names, Fireblaze and Jensen. Coming into Las Vegas, Fireblaze leads the championship on 349 points despite having half as many wins as the man chasing him, as we're on board with him right now, which is Jensen. Just let me check if my mic is working because I had a few issues earlier on. Yep, my mic is working. But Fireblaze is taking 4 victories this season, but his remarkable consistency, just like last season, 12 podiums and a storming victory last time out at the Australian Grand Prix. He failed to win, by the way, as Jensen goes up into P2. So Mo Nemo has currently got provisional pole position. As we're on board with the Ferrari driver headed down in towards turn 12, which can be a difficult technical corner, back on board with Mo and Nemo as we go on board with the long straight 1.9 kilometer, 1.2 mile straight. DRS wide open, might pick up a toe off the back of the Alpine driver. That could be Fireblaze there on the circuit. So Mo and Nemo have to give it a little bit of help down the back straight as we now have Thread and Needle going in towards turn number 13 towards 15. As we see Franco Colapinto crashed there too before. As we also saw Alex Albon have a little bit of an incident this season as well. As Mo and Nemo makes his way towards the line he goes. It's going to be a 30.3 and he's 2 and a bit tenths up on his flying lap. So he'll be fully satisfied with that lap time as he extends the margin once again of the 2 Alpine boys. On board with Fireblaze, then the man who is currently leading the championship as he now heads towards turn 2 and turn 3. The double right-hander, a long looping right-hander indeed, which punishes the left front tyres as we have the DRS on board with him going down in towards turn 4. Heavy on the brakes, slow the car down, clip the apex very nice to get back to the throttle as he uses a bit of battery too for good measure to exit the corner, and he's currently 200s up in the first sector as we make our way towards this technical part of the racetrack where a lot of people can get caught out. It is so technical indeed, so slow. It's very easy to mess with your bearings through that particular part of the racetrack. And now we're coming towards the high speed corners, flowing left and right before we hit the brakes once again, going down in towards turn 12. Hard on the brakes is very important in this section because if you mess it up, it ruins the chance of you overtaking your rival on the straight, or it ruins the chances and gets the guy behind the DRS as well. The DRS is open on this back straight because C speed is about 350 kilometers an hour. Depends if you're in a solution with somebody, but Fireblaze is not even reaching that. It's 342. As I know he's running a low downforce setup as we now make our way towards the last sector we go. Threading the needle through that particular part of the section as we now head on towards the straight. We go full throttle all the way to the line. Let's see what lap time this is going to be for Fireblaze. Is it improvement? Yes, it is. He goes back ahead of Jensen. He goes up into P2 and out-qualifies his teammate crucially as well, which is going to be very important for this qualifying session because track position is everything. Despite a DRS zone out here, it's so easy to be stuck within that DRS train, especially having a 1.9 kilometer, 1.2 mile straight. Sonic Hawk is in P9, has a bit of a moment out there as well at the exit of turn number 9. In fact, I need to get everything set up because I don't actually have all my information. So let me just get myself sorted because I wasn't supposed to commentate until the very last moment. So as you could tell, I'm a bit rusty. I don't really have a lot of information in front of me right now because I was rushing to get everything sorted because I wasn't expected to be on commentary tonight. But Archie Westy, new in the McLaren, is currently in P8 with a 31.7. MDJ is just ahead of him in the Red Bull there. Inside the top 10, which is, I want to say surprising, not surprising, that's a bit of a harsh word, but which is encouraging, shall I say, because I know the man has been struggling this season, same as me as well. His pace has been fluctuating and he has definitely been struggling and feeling the effects of this game. So hopefully he can put that to bed and sort it all out. On board the clock, he's also a driver that's also very, very handy to look out for as well. Very quick as well, very aggressive is Glock. I don't think he's taken the win just yet this season. He's had a few podiums. I believe one of them was back at the Brazilian Grand Prix, as Glock can be a regular contender as well. Currently sat in P5. He's had 3 podiums this season, one in the Hungarian Grand Prix, the other at the Brazilian Grand Prix, and the other one at the Bahrain Grand Prix, which was near the start of the season. I know, let's face it as well, it's been one of the underwhelming seasons so far is season 18. High expectations from 17 to 16, 15, but unfortunately we've had a bit of a null here as well. We had a bit of a tumble as well during the course of the season where everything just went downhill after the attendance wasn't particularly great either. After it's just everything really just went downhill. But sometimes you can't always have a high season. You're gonna fall down to get back up, and hopefully we get back up soon because we've had a fall, we've had a rise, we've had a fall, and had a rise of this season 12. There's only 3 minutes left to qualify, so that's gonna be interesting to watch as well. This qualifying has gone very, very rapid indeed, just like these cars. Martin is up by 0.6 of a second. The Division 2 driver then with the DRS wide open on this back straight. Let's see what Martin could do as he now makes his way towards the tricky section. The heavy breaker zone towards turn 12 and 14 where a lot of people could get caught out. This is actually 40 to 60. Yeah, it is 40 to 60, so I did get messed up there a little bit. I haven't done my track research until just now, so apologies about that one, but he makes his way in towards the pit lane then. So that's quite interesting. He was 6 tenths up, wasn't he? But I don't think he's particularly satisfied with that lap time. Maybe he thinks he could find more lap time on his last go, put on a new set of soft pod tyres and see what he could do from there. But it's his choice. Although he's actually cutting it very close. I don't think Martin has got enough time to get back in and out of the pit lane. So has he just slightly compromised himself? He was 6 tenths up. Maybe those 6 tenths will put him into a 32.2 or 3 if he could get ahead of Matty. But we've got a huge stampede of cars making their way out of the garages, and this is going to be a crucial pole position. There is 3 races left to go: Vegas, Abu Dhabi, and the British GP, which is in a fortnight's time. So no mistakes can be afforded to made. Nobody can afford to make any sort of mistake whatsoever. Martin has retired in the pit lane. The top 2 in the championship, Jensen and Fireblaze, have got to keep it squeaky clean, especially Fireblaze, because he was second in the championship last season, and he knows this is a big chance. He's 13 points in front of Jensen with about 3 races left to go. The pressure is high as well. All he needs to do is going to be easier said than done. He doesn't have to focus on the race wins. He has to focus on beating his teammates, which Lando Norris has to do, by the way, against Max Verstappen in Abu Dhabi. All he's got to do is try and just get enough points to secure him at that championship, and have enough a bit of a buffer and a bit of a safety gap behind too. It's the same with Lando Norris as well. He doesn't have to particularly win in Abu Dhabi, but he has to finish in the top 3. And now with a car capable of finishing the top 3, you would have thought Lando Norris could do it, but you never know if there's going to be sorts of safety car, engine problem, reliability issue, etc. Anything could happen on board with one of the championship contenders, which is Jensen now, as we swoop through, diving in towards the slow speed corners, tackling the curves very nicely as well, maximising every single part of the racetrack. Just barely scraped the wall on the outside there, gentle kiss, and now we're going to have 16 drivers in this race. Obviously can't say qualified because it's too late, but here we go, down it towards turn number 11 there. A bit of a wobble on with Jensen there. The car just seemed a bit reluctant and sliding a little bit underneath him, but unfortunately for him, he's currently 400 up. No slipstream from both RP drivers, as you expect there as well. I don't expect both of them to be helping each other, especially championship. Do you know what? Jensen's been helping his teammate, giving him setups. I don't think I should have mentioned that on stream, but just in case, if he gets into trouble, not me. You don't hear comms. You don't hear comms. My mic has been playing up. I've been speaking this whole time, so I'm not quite sure when you couldn't hear me, but my mic has cut off, unfortunately, and that's really annoying. So apologies about that, but I have been speaking the whole time. So Fireblaze, Jensen has pitted then. He can't improve on that lap time. We've got Aston Martin now coming towards the line. I think that's the qualifying done as Krausler, but on board with Fireblaze, one of our championship contenders for this season, as he powers down the Las Vegas straight, the 1.9, 1.2 kilometer. Can he find any more lap time as he heads through turn 14 now in towards this breaker zone? Keeps it nice and tight. Their car just sliding around a little bit as he taps the wall on the outside too for good measure. But it's a Ferrari 1-2 as Velocio goes into P2, but here comes Fireblaze in the Alpine. Can he take away Paul? We're about to find out. No, he can't. He's P3 at best. Unfortunately, he's out-qualified his teammate, so that's good for him. But where elsewhere, what have we got on the track? Mo and Nemo can't improve on his lap time. On board with Gergely in the kickstart, but Adam's going to put a P10 in the Mercedes. Sonic Hawk is back in the pit lane. Matty is back in the pit lane too. But it is the 2 Ferrari boys on pole position. No problem at all with your microphone. You heard everything. Oh, so did you hear me speak the whole way through? Because I thought for 1 second that my mic fully cut off. So I need somebody at all times watching the stream, because I've got a problem with my mic. I'm not quite sure if I'm a mic or controller, because it cuts off without me muting. I'm not quite sure if it's a problem with internal problem with the mic or anything, but please do let me know if you don't hear me speak in this session. I am speaking, I'm here the whole time, but what a qualified session. It's a Ferrari 1-2, RP34, Sauber Kick 7, Kick Sauber 6 7th, MDJ P8 ahead of Archie Westy, Adams in P10, Sonic Hawk in P11 ahead of Klusler, Matty is in P13, Martin's 14th, and Dylan Vince has been disqualified. And also Havish is here tonight in the, I'm going to say Williams, in 16th place. But it's nice to be back as well. I was just explaining the importance of the championship with Fireblaze, because Fireblaze was the runner-up last time. He was the hunter, trying to hunt down Kaname in the championship last season. But he's also been hunted by Jensen as well. What he's got to do is at least finish ahead of Jensen in the next 3 races. Easier said than done, but don't put too much pressure on yourself. Don't focus on the race wins. All you need to focus on is beating your teammate. You can't afford to make any sort of mistakes. You can't afford to get tangled up. If there is a gap, if there is a move, and you can do it safely without making contact with anybody, then do it. But your main target is your teammate, and finish at least ahead of him, because now we've got 3 rounds left in this championship. You can't afford to make any sort of mistakes. Those mistakes are going to be put to bed very quickly. But it's nice to be back on comms, you know. It feels like I haven't commentated for a long time. When was the last time I commentated in SFR? I don't remember, but yeah, I missed out a lot. Also, though, it's nice to be amongst the field too. I know I'm currently the leader in the reserve championship right now, ahead of Nico Rasselberg, so that's something to brag about. But to reiterate in the championship, it is Fireblaze who leads Jensen by 13 points. Fireblaze 349, Jensen 336. Volochev Jr. on 3rd place, 274. No wins just yet this season either. Moe Nemo's P4 with 1 win, 244 with 4 podiums. Glock is in P5 with 221, 3 podiums. Rising Star P6, 1 win, 1 podium. He had his win back at the Hungarian Grand Prix as well. What a sensational drive from Rising Star. I think it was Spain, yeah, it was Spain who got his first, because Glock tangled with him, and I got a podium too. I got a podium in Spain, by the way, guys. Samir P7 with 176 with 2 podiums. Adams P8 with 169. With Hurricane P9 with 135. MDJ P10 with 130. Yusuf Farouk 112. President Elite P12, being Burmeister in last place in the championship. The formation lap is on, and let's see what the tyres allocation is. It is the medium compound tyres, and that's the strategy I expected, really. So what has Fireblaze got to do then to try and get his first championship? Because he tried desperately. He was a bit too passive, too conservative against Kareem. He wasn't really the aggressor. He wasn't going for moves as well. But Fireblaze has put the wrongs to rights, and learnt his lesson. And let's see how he does against Jensen in the last 3 races of the season. It's going to be splendid. It's going to be an extraordinary championship battle between the 2 LP drivers, 2 of them who get along really well. And they've never had, I don't think they've ever tangled either this season, from what I've seen and heard, because I'm always in a party with them when it comes to races. So I really hope in the next 3 races they keep it clean. I know that Jensen won the Brazilian Grand Prix, and Fireblaze got caught up in some incident. I'm going to be very intrigued to see how both Ferrari boys as well play out in this race, because both Ferraris been a threat. Not in the last couple of races though, because both of them haven't been here or been off the pace recently. But now they're in the way, they could be an obstacle and a factor as well in towards this race. And we know what happened between Alpine and Ferrari. A bit of controversy between those teams as well. I know one team blames the other team as well, so I really hope nothing happens. They can't afford. I know Jensen and Fireblaze, they can't afford to tangle with those 3. With 3 races left to go in the season, the pressure is reaching down to its boiling point for Fireblaze, a driver who knows this position all too well. Remember last season, Fireblaze was right in the heart of the championship, carrying the weight of all expectation all the way to finale, but the title slipped away in those closing rounds, and it's a memory that will be sitting firmly in the back of his mind now. This time, the mathematics are simple, but the execution is anything but. Fireblaze leads the standings on 349, Jensen with 30 points behind. With the former Jensen shown 8 wins this season, Fireblaze can afford a single day off or single race off. There were 5 lights, and we are underway for the Las Vegas Grand Prix here in America. Let's see who gets a good start. It is Moenimo who holds the lead, going in towards contact! And that is Jens, that is Fireplace and Velocio Jr. What did we say? What did we say about those two? They can't afford to make contact, and already Fireplace got himself in a bit of trouble. But luckily, I think his front wing is still intact. That could be costly in the championship indeed. As we head down in towards turn 4 now, Jensen's up into P2 with Moenimo still leading this Grand Prix. And Fireblade dearly loves to get past the guy in front of him. As we head through turn 4 now, through 5 and 6 we go. So it is Moenimo still leading this race ahead of Jensen. Fireblade is in P4 under pressure from Glock right behind 2. Fireblade needs to get his head in on his shoulders and just keep composed and keep calm. It is the first lap of the Grand Prix. There could be a DRS trailer core strategy safety car, so keep his head down, making sure he doesn't get himself in any other instance now. It was a bizarre incident, but Velocio Jr. paid the price for that, and unfortunately down to P9. He can't afford to mess around with the Ferraris. Off the track there. In turn 11 goes Matti, and through goes McLaren driver. Here comes the Aston Martin, here comes Dylan Vince. He's been swamped by 3 drivers indeed. Here comes Dylan Vince in the middle of both of them, gets past one of them, and now gets past the Aston Martin, which is a neat move. He's been at 3 places in one go there, so that's a great move indeed from Dylan Vince, being the aggressor as well on lap 1. He's up into P11, but crucially needs to get himself back in the DRS train. As we can see, Sonic Hawk in the background there lurking to try and see if he can make a move or not. But Adams gets ahead of MDJ. He's up into P6, but here comes the kick-saber. Through he goes. What a double overtake. He's got past both of them. MDJ almost lost the car as we head down in towards turn 1. Adams and MDJ still side by side, but the kick-saber just flew right past them both. And here comes the Ferrari lurking in the background too. Has he got damage? No, he hasn't. He's escaped from it. The Mercedes goes very deep in towards turn 2 and turn 3. And Velocio Jr. loses the car there as well for good measure. Slides with oversteer, and MDJ looking for a move down the inside in towards turn 4, but Adams is laser brakes. He's going to go in the wall. He scrapes the wall as MDJ gets past him, and here comes the Ferrari. Here comes McLaren 2, getting on those two, tries to capitalise, and down the inside goes Velocio Jr. McLaren hits the back of him, and he makes contact with the Mercedes, and through goes McLaren 2. What a start to this Las Vegas Grand Prix indeed. Very chaotic, very eventful as we expect here as well. As we see Velocio Jr., he's desperate to get those moves back as well. He's desperate to make up those places, especially in the championship for Ferrari. It seems Jensen is losing a bit of time there towards Moenimo. Oh no! Havish is in the wall at turn 12. That gave me a heart attack. I wasn't expecting it. But he's in the wall, gets going once again, points the car in the right direction. And luckily for him, I don't think he's got any damage. I'm not quite sure on the McLaren, but at least he's going in the right direction. Here comes Fireblade, the back end, the Haas driver, but not going to go for the move just yet as we head down towards 14, 15 and 16 we go. Crucially, Fireblade is still in the race then. He's got 23 laps to try and do something about it. Dream for Jensen. Jensen is trying to gain as many points as he can in the last few rounds. And contact with one of the Ferrari drivers is the last thing it needs for Fireblade to disrupt his championship, to hinder him, as the Haas there is all over the back of Jensen then, as he tries to make a way through into towards 2 to turn 3 we go. DRS wide open for the RP driver. He is running quite low on fuel, I must say, and I think that's because he expects a safety car, so an anticipated safety car. As we see in the background there, Velocio Jr. side by side with the Red Bull going down in towards turn 4. Lates the brakes. Does he go wide? He does. Contact there. MDJ gets back ahead for momentarily, unless Velocio Jr. sends it down the inside. And he does, locks up the front inside spot. MDJ has to go off the track, but no, he bails out of that one for sure. We all know the Ferrari driver will not give up, and I think he's running with a hot head as well. So maybe he's frustrated with the first lap incident. He qualified an excellent P2. He has been struggling in the last few races, has Velocio Jr., but he's back on pace now. And he's on the back of the Mercedes driver, who's vulnerable, lonely. He has no DRS. The guy ahead, he's 1.6 seconds behind of the next car. You know what? Shout out to Gurgly in P6 there. Gurgly. But Fireblades is on the back of Nordis then as we head down in towards turn 14 we go, but no move being made so far. Fireblades would dearly love to get dispatched the Haasman, but unfortunately he can't do so for the time being then, as Jensen's under massive pressure from the Haas as we go down towards the main straight. Archie Westy's got a 3-second tablet already in this race as he's crashed at the exit of turn 14. I don't think Fireblades wants a safety car either because he can't afford to double stack. Well, look what happened there to George Russell, he lost a whole abundance of places in the Las Vegas Grand Prix. Dirty air as well in Qatar was absolutely shocking and horrendous, which George Russell found out as well once Isaac Hadjar got a puncher. Do you know what as well? Let's talk about Isaac Hadjar for a few seconds. Congratulations on making it to Red Bull. Although people say it could be a demotion, because we know the second Red Bull seat is cursed. And I really hope it's not for Isaac Hadjar. He used to league race here. Guess what, guys? He used to league race here in SFR. I used to commentate on him in a different league. And now the man is driving for Red Bull in Formula 1, which is unbelievable, as you would say. Here we go then, down in towards the heavy breaker zone once again. The reason why I'm in game chat so I can see if my mic's working or not, which is a good indicator to see if I cut or not. But let's see then, Jensen looks like he's struggling in the first part of the race, but it looks like he's regained some form. He's about to make an overtake on Mo and Nemo. We know these two have had a bit of history as well before in the past. Let's see if it happens again, hopefully not for Jensen's sake. But here he is, drives past the Ferrari driver. He's up into first place, but no, Mo and Nemo looked like he's about to fire back, but luckily he didn't, as he slots into P2 for the time being. Remember, there is only one DRS straight, I think, one DRS zone on this track. No, two. What am I talking about? Two. As here comes Fireblade side by side, not yet though, with the Haas driver, but the Haas driver does have more battery in comparison towards him as well. Fireblade, we know he's desperate to get past the AC Championship rival. It's a huge point swing if Jensen wins this race. That contact with Velocev Jr. going down towards turn 1 could be the talking point of the championship, could be the twist of turn. Every single moment in this race, in this season, counts in the championship, and you can't afford to have those sort of mistakes, especially on lap 1. Fireblades, in hindsight, looking back, how aggressive did he need to be? Because I didn't quite catch how it unfolded between those two. I know maybe Fireblades could have backed out of that one, maybe he could have taken a different approach, maybe Velocev Jr. could have cost him, who knows? But there's variable factors to describe that. Look at that, Glock is there too, in the background. We know what happens to Glock as well, he gets involved, and it all gets spicy to the front of the field. So it's a top 5 fight for first place between top 5, obviously, what I just said. As Sonic Hawk has gone for a spin and hits the walls. They lost and played 2 for good measure. As he gets going once again, Archie West has gone past him in the McLaren. He had a decent qualifying session, didn't he? Qualified P9 and down in P14, unfortunately. He's also got a 3 second penalty too in this race. But DRS again, once again enabled on the straight. 20 laps left to go in this race. We're still in the early part of the Grand Prix. Velocev Jr. is right behind the Kicksauber. He gets past him. He's up into P6 ahead of Jurgely, who's new to the league, and he's on the Xbox side as well. It's a great performance from him so far inside the top 10. Look at this battle. Here comes the Aston Martin down the inside there on the Mercedes driver, looking to try and find a way past, but not on this occasion. He has to wait behind for the time being then. Desperate to get ahead of both of them. He's made some great moves so far, hasn't he, the Aston Martin driver Klausler, but he's stuck behind the Mercedes and the Red Bull driver. It'll be difficult to try and get past them. I wonder, with Velocev Jr. now up to P6, can he catch up? I don't think he can, you know, because once you put the DRS game, you're in a bit of a conundrum. You can't catch up despite having, if you have great pace, even if you have great pace, you can't catch up. You're just gonna have to pray for a safety car or hope that one of the guys ahead makes a big mistake, which is not going to happen. But safety car could happen. But Jersey goes deep in the braking zone. Adams is looking for a switch back, tries to dance around the outside if he can, but the Kicksauber defends the inside line, and there is no way for the Mercedes driver to go. But he'll have a big advantage with DRS. He's got more pace, better pace than Jurgely. I think Jurgely has expired on his medium compound tyres. He seems to be struggling there on his medium compound tyres, and Adams is right at the back of him too. Great job by Adams, by the way. Do you know what? Despite having despite having lack of pace this season, he has done a good job to turn up to every single race. That's what I like about Adams. He's dedicated, he's committed as well, no matter how bad things get, no matter how slow he is. Well, I don't mean it in that way, but if you know what I mean. Mo and Nemo, let's just say not quicker than the guys ahead. Or Jensen there blocks up heavily in towards turn 13, and looks like he's struggling too for traction as he has the Haas right behind for company. Oh, where's Glock? Oh, wait, what's happened there? Fireblades is up into P3, but I thought I lost Glock. I thought he made a big mistake because I couldn't see him in that picture. It looked like he disappeared in the picture, so I thought something must have happened in towards the braking zone. But luckily he's still there. Now, this is interesting. Oh, Fireblades almost lost the car in towards turn 2 and turn 3. You suffer with a lot of understeer through there and oversteer too for good measure with the dirty air, disrupting the balance of the car as we head down into towards turn 4. This is going to get so interesting now because the two RP drivers are close together, but Martin has spun going down in towards turn 1, which is quite unusual, I must say. Unless he hit the inside curb, then fair enough. This track proving to be difficult once again, as all the drivers struggling on their tyres. It seems medium compound tyres are attached to every single race car except the 3 in the pit lane right now. Probably going for that 2-sort of strategy. But with Mo Nemo still leading this race, the last time he led a race was back at the Baku Grand Prix, and guess what, he won it with Jensen in the wall. But Fireblaze is right behind his teammate. They're looking very aggressive and looking very racy so far. So it looks like he put the pass behind him to bed and now focused in front of him, which is his teammates, which he needs to dial in and settle in now. Looks like he put the first lap incident to the back of his mind, which is crucial. He can't afford to be thinking about those things as well. I think I'll go down to a first lap incident unless I watch it back, because I'm not quite sure what happened if Fireblaze attempted to go around the outside or Velocio Jr. just crashed. Well, I don't know what happened there, to be honest with you, but I need to review it again to see, have full clarity and disclosure of what happened. Lap 7 and Glock, or lap 8 shall I say, and Glock is struggling to stay within the remnants of the 1 second there as well. So looks like he started to struggle there on his medium compound tyres, just being attached a little bit, and he slided too. And poor Glock, when you break the DRS train, it is so difficult. Maybe he starts to feel the effects of the compound tyres now. It's all about durability to the first stint. It's all about staying within that connection of that DRS train, keeping your tyres alive, but managing them and maintaining them is proven to be tricky there for the Kick Sauber, as Martin has a 10-second penalty for speeding the pit lane. I'm trying to go back to lap 1 as Gergely and Adams go side by side there, deep in the braking zone, and Adams falls backwards into P. I think his tyres are looking very messy as well. They don't look very handsome there on those medium compound tyres. Let's go back to lap 1 to see what happened between Fireblaze and Velocio Jr. So, I wish we had a replay. Oh, I think it's down towards Velocio Jr., I must say. Sorry, Velocio Jr., but I think you might have to take the punishment for that one. It looked like he just cut across Fireblaze there. So I don't think Fireblaze is to blame. So I don't think any penalty will be dished out. So I don't think Fireblaze has to worry about a penalty post-race as well. Depends if Velocio Jr. decides to report it. But now Glock's falling backwards and out this DRS train. And yeah, it must be so sad seeing the top 4 pull away whilst you're vulnerable and can't do anything about it. But the top 4 all within a second of each other with the DRS wide open. I wonder as well if anybody's looking to try and do an undercut around here, because undercut in Vegas can be quite powerful, but I think it's still too early to be thinking about doing an undercut or pitting at this stage in the race, so maybe just extend it for a few laps and see what happens. But if a safety car was to come out, I think Fireblaze would be safe. He would definitely have to do a double stack, but I think he might be joined behind Velocio Jr. We know it can be quite costly when it comes to double stacking the pit lane. Once again, these two go side by side. It is Gergely versus Adams as we see them going through turn 2 and turn 3. Behind him is Dylan Vince in the other Mercedes. The Belgium driver now looking interested in the back of Gergely and Adams. But once again, the Kick Sauber has the DRS. This is a nice battle going down in towards turn 4. The Red Bull and MDJ as well, also in the frame of the picture. Oh, the two Mercedes make contact in towards turn 4. Dylan Vince trying to steam on the inside, but I don't think that move was on. He was a bit too far back to make any sort of impression on his teammates. But we've got this 4-way battle now going between the Kick Sauber and the Mercedes in P10. Velocio Jr. is catching Glock, so maybe he's there for the taking. We know the Ferrari driver's got some mighty pace. There he is in the background, just lurking in the distance there. If it wasn't for the first lap contact, I'd definitely dare say he'll be definitely involved in this battle. But Mo and Nemo is without a teammate, is the two Alpines. But Mo and Nemo knows that the two Alpine drivers are both in a championship, so they're not going to be dive bombing or going side by side, and they're going to be trying to play it cautious. The two Alpine drivers are thinking about each other more than the race wing. Yes, the race wing is handy, but in the pit lane comes the Ferrari driver, so he's the first to pit in this train, and he's not being undercut by anybody. He's doing the undercut essentially. He adheres to his pit lane speed limiter, and Glock is also in the pit lane too. Not surprised by Glock because his tyres were degrading quite quickly too, so he had to get rid of his really compound tyres, put on a new set of hards, and let's see what he can produce from there. Maybe try and get himself back within this DRS train with the power of the undercut now. But Fireblaze, he's got his teammate right where he wants him in first place, right in front of him as well for good measure. And this is going to be a good and entertaining battle between himself and his teammate too. We all know that these two keep it nice and clean. Moe Nemo gets ahead of Dylan Vince, and guess what? So this is scenario. If you pit, you might rejoin in this traffic. Moe Nemo has rejoined the traffic right now, which could hinder him hugely and play into the hands of Fireblaze and Jensen. I don't know if Fireblaze and Jensen know that Moe Nemo has rejoined in P7 and is stuck behind 2 cars as well. So Moe Nemo has to overtake him so that maybe he doesn't get undercutted by Fireblaze and Jensen. Moe Nemo is right behind the 2 as well. He can't afford to make any sort of contact. They're in 2 completely different races. The 2 ahead of him, but also yellow flags in the background too. The last thing I think Moe Nemo wants is a safety car as Fireblaze gets closer towards Jensen but overtakes him. Once again, yellow flags in the background there as well. But Moe Nemo rides to the back of the Ferrari driver and he needs to do the overtake right now on both of them. Here he is, getting on them both. Oh no! That was a bit they want it from Moe Nemo as he goes down the inside of one of them. Fireblaze is in the pit lane as the 2 go side by side contact and Adam spins. Adam is in a spin there. And he resets track 2 for good measure. He'll be absolutely frustrated over that one too. So Jensen has been left out there in first place. We know that Jensen likes to elongate his first stints, doesn't he? He likes to go longer on those mini compound tyres and has a bit of an offset as well. Fireblaze rejoins in P4 behind Moe Nemo, which is not too bad indeed. He's in the DRS range still, but crucially he needs to warm up those tyres because those tyres will be cold right now and not up to working range. He doesn't have DRS either on this lap. So Jensen once again staying out there in P1. Moe Nemo's been cost hugely as well because he could have had a bigger gap than that, but he was stuck battling with those cars in towards turn 14 and it's costing him a heap of time as well for good measure. So that's not really helped Moe Nemo in terms of his strategy. Wanted to get himself outside the DRS range but couldn't because those 2 cars in front of him. Havish has retired in the pit lane, so no safety car as well. A safety car would do wonders for Jensen right now if it was to happen. But I don't think it's going to happen. Fingers crossed as well, because I know that safety cars blow up people's races or places towards their hands. But let's see what Fireblaze does against Moe Nemo. Will he attack him? Oh, in the background, that is Dylan go for a spin as well in P7. Get yourself back on track now before, there we go, facing the right way round. Let's see if Fireblaze makes the overtake happen going down in towards turn 14, the heavy braker zone. He's gaining and gaining and gaining. 350 kilometers an hour. That's about 223 miles an hour. Side by side in the braker zone. I don't think it's necessary, these two. These two don't need to scrap. They don't need to go side by side and fight every corner. Moe Nemo hit the wall there as well. They need to think about the longevity, the long-term pace of this game, the long game. It's a high-speed game of chess. You just don't need to go side by side right now in the breaker zones because you're going to cost yourself as well. And look at this, the top 3 rejoin ahead of Jensen. He rejoins the P4, has gone for a different strategy in P4 as well. So let's see if he plays dividends for his race later on. 1 lap time difference in comparison towards his teammates. He's stuck behind 2 cars as well. And being 4th in the DRS train is not going to do him any favours as well as we head down in towards the breaker zone. Moe Nemo has lost the place towards the Haas. The Haas hits the wall at the exit of turn 4 as well for good measure. Also in the background, Dylan Vince has pitted onto a new set of hardcore power tyres as well. So this is the phase of the second half of the race then. So Fireblaze is P1 on newer hardcore power tyres. Jensen's in P4 on the brand newer tyres in P4. And we'll see if that pays dividends. He definitely does have a little bit of a tyre difference, but not too much. Only 1 lap is the difference between himself and Fireblaze. Fireblaze is back in P1. Considering what happened to him in the first lap of the race, where he got put down as a P4, made contact with the Ferrari driver. But luckily, it didn't take him out of the race. That could have ended horribly. If Fireblaze DNF'd, then he wouldn't live to regret it. He would live to regret it, knowing that so many points have been lost, and he has to work hard in the next 2 races in Silverstone and the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. As we head down towards the breaker, so we go in towards 14, 15 and 16 can be very difficult corners as well, very easy to get caught out, especially we saw Franco Colapinto back in 2024 last year. And also, we saw Fireblaze crash there as well. Yeah, he did. Last season, Fireblaze crashed in turn 14 and it caused a safety car, and Bobby Lyons wasn't happy about that either. I remember now. He did crash there. Hopefully he doesn't do it again, because if he does it again, then that's huge for the championship. 30 points lost indeed. A championship in SFR going down to the wire. A championship in Formula 1 going down to the wire. But at the Las Vegas Grand Prix, both McLarens got disqualified due to the plank being too thin. And what a blunder as well. An absolute disaster from McLaren. Like, come on, McLaren. And Verstappen if Verstappen wins the championship, he fully deserves it. But McLaren, let's say if McLaren do win the championship, Oscar or Lando, it's going to be one of the most unpopular championship wins ever, because I think the mistakes are going to overshadow the championship for Norris and Piastri. There's been so many mistakes, so many embarrassing moments, papaya rules, etc. It's just been an absolute disaster for McLaren as well this season. They've won the constructors already, but even if they won the constructors drivers, Qatar, Vegas, Monza, Baku, the Dutch GP, what other races? I'm pretty sure there's lots of races. As Fireblaze gets demoted down into P2, but I don't think he'll care. He knows his target is Jensen in P4. But yeah, McLaren, they had it all, didn't they, at the start of the season? Max Verstappen had a 104-point deficit towards Oscar Piastri at the Dutch GP in Zandvoort. Now he's 4 points ahead, which is outstanding. What a comeback drive from Max Verstappen. And I don't care if you hate Verstappen or not. I'm not a Verstappen fan, but you got to respect it as well. Verstappen is just one hell of a driver. A driver you'll never see again. Gergely is right behind MDJ. No, sorry. Klausler is right behind Gergely going down to P1. I hope I'm pronouncing the name right as we head towards the braking zone, but Klausler can't make the move for the time being. MDJ, solid race from him. Now he's broke away from the guys behind, and he's also he's trying to catch Floggio Jr. to in P6. So MDJ, one of the most comfortable races he's been in so far this season. I know he's had his struggles. He's been outside the points most of the time, most of the top 10. But running a solid race in P7, hopefully they don't jinx him. There he is, third of the road as well, for good measure. But, you've got to feel sorry for him. It's like in Brazil when he dropped off the DRS train. He just can't seem to get close anymore, unfortunately for him. He peaked on his first stint. And now Jensen's he's trying to overtake the Ferrari driver. How difficult is the Ferrari driver going to make this? As we've got the DRS wide open. The Ferrari seems like he's dropping backwards so far. Here we go with the DRS wide open then on both the Ferrari and Jensen. Jensen's got more battery than Mo and Nemo as we head down towards the braking zone, side by side between the two of them. But Mo and Nemo lays the brakes there, stays ahead, does he? He does. Goes a bit deep, but stays ahead of the RP driver, making the RP driver work for it. Now he's got another dose of battery and slipstream. Here we go then, side by side, and this time he makes it look easy. He just had to wait, didn't he, as we head down towards turn 1. Jensen's up to P3. Once again, both RP drivers are back together in this race. There is 10 laps left to go, 10 laps of action, and it could be anybody's game. Anybody within this top 4 can win this race. But Mo Nemo is, I probably dare say, is the outsider in P4 because he pitted, he went for another pit stop, but it might have cost him. We know 1 or 2 laps on a set of tyres difference can make a huge difference indeed. It may be small, maybe minimal, but we know we can have a big difference in the race. It's nice to be back commentating as well. I missed it. I have absolutely missed this as well. Need to do it more often. You know that Five Nations Championship is built on consistency, damage limitation, and striking only when the opportunity is perfect is what I'm presenting. But Jensen, we all know, I dare say he's better than Fireblaze in terms of having raw pace and just having the ability to win races too. Fireblaze is more like a consistent driver, I dare say. Jensen's consistent too, but I dare say a little bit more quicker. They both have their strengths and weaknesses. Fireblaze's weakness was being too passive and conservative last season. He wasn't the aggressor. He was waiting too late at the wrong time. There we go. There's a save for that one in there, but I forgot what it is. But yeah, Fireblaze last season had his troubles against Kanane where he just struggled to capitalise, and Kanane just beat him every single time. And Fireblaze looking for answers, looking for clues, looking for puzzles to see why he couldn't beat Kanane. But now he's taking the championship lead, the champion of last season's car, because Kanane was in the Alpine. He's in the Alpine and continuing Kanane's legacy. Kanane was one hell of a driver too. always consistent. You know what? Las Vegas as well is where Canave struggled, because I believe him and somebody else made contact going down towards turn 14. It had a huge swing in the championship. Fireblaze managed to build a massive gap in the championship in Las Vegas last season, but can he do it here tonight? If I remember correctly, Canave did have an incident with somebody down at turn 14 as he hit the wall, and Fireblaze saw the championship open in front of him. But hopefully, well, I say hopefully, nothing happens to either driver. Who do you think is going to win the championship here this season? Is it Fireblaze? Is it Jensen? We know Jensen's got twice more than wins for Fireblaze. Fireblaze got 4 wins, Jensen's got 8. But who's your bets on? I have no idea, to be honest with you, because each driver keeps surprising me with their pace, their talent, their skills, their consistency, the raw pace. Both drivers have improved dramatically, especially Fireblaze too, where he just seemed to be a little bit downbeat from what happened last season, always getting beaten at the last few laps of the race, not finding any answers at all. But the man has bounced back, he's striked back, and he's currently leading the championship, which is good news for him. But Jensen's right behind in P3, and we know Jensen's no slouch over. He'll always be there to the very end. Jensen's the last person I want in the championship fight with me. It seems a bit calm now, but there's a saying, calm before the storm here in Las Vegas. So just waiting for the final few laps of the Grand Prix, because they're going to be explosive. But it's all about who's in the right time in the right place. I remember Hurricane and Hazara having a fight here a few seasons ago. I think Hurricane and Hazara were scrapping over for first place, and I think Hazara just beat him on the 1.9 kilometer straight. That's also a factor as well. You don't want to be in the straight in the final lap of the Grand Prix unless you can build like an 8th or 9th, 10th gap. But the battle's not always won down at turn 14. You can out-drag your rival towards the finish line as well. If you get a good exit at turn 16, you can set yourself up nicely to be in the slipstream. And guess what? It could be a three-way fight now, because Moe Nemo has dropped out the DRS. Here comes the Haas on the Alpine driver going down towards turn 14. Fireblaze won't really care that much, because he knows his main target is Jensen right behind him. So Jensen is right behind Fireblaze. Now will Jensen have to force Fireblaze into an overtake? Here we go. Down in towards turn 1. Is Fireblaze going to defend against the Alpine as we head down towards the first corner? The two of them go side by side there as well. In towards turn 1. The last thing they need is contact. Jensen getting all squirrely out of turn 1. Going through turn 2 and turn 3. Can he go all the way around the outside to take on Fireblaze? The car having massive oversteer, but he does. He's up into P2 ahead of his teammates. But his teammate can fight back now. He just needs to feature the ERS save battery now against his teammates and go for it again in the latter stages of this race. So they managed to dispatch Moe Nemo P4. Looks like he's dropped out of DRS range now. There's a yellow flag down there as well. It's his Dylan Vince having a bit of an excursion in towards 14, 15 and 16. But gets going once again. But the battle for the top 3 is well and truly spicing up here in Las Vegas. There is 7 laps left to go in this race, and who is your money betted on? And Moe Nemo has managed to get himself back in DRS range as well for good measure. Jensen had a bit of a moment at turn 12. Jensen's a weird one, because we saw in Saudi Arabia and Baku he made a big mistake. He outbroke himself twice as well on that occasion, but fought back to win in Saudi Arabia, which was one of the best wins I've seen so far in SFR. He dropped down the order. Yes, the safety car helped him, but he was way down the order and came back through to win the race in Jeddah. What a splendid drive that was as well. Baku, he just fell backwards after he hit the wall in turn 3, broke his wing as well for good measure. With Fireblaze, he hasn't really made such mistakes at all in this season. He's been very consistent as well. Scored 12 podiums for Jensen's 13 podiums. Monza was a difficult race for him as well this season. China was a difficult race. But towards the second half of the season, he has been absolutely flying. After China, he's managed to finish inside the top 5 every single race. Whereas Jensen, he has a few DNSs this season as well. A few races where he had bad luck. Spain was one of them as well. Spain, he had a terrible race, but that safety car came out at the wrong time for him as well. I took the podium that day too at the Spanish Grand Prix. Dylan Vince once again spinning around there as well. His race has gone bad to worse from him. It looks like Vlotchev Jr. is not able to catch Glock anymore. The gap's 11 seconds now, so it looks like the fight for P5 is called off. And looks like Glock has solidified himself into 5th place. Not a bad race from Glock, but unfortunately doesn't have the pace to contend with the top 3 here. Somebody just hit the wall at the exit of turn 12 there as well. But luckily no front wings are broken on this occasion. Jensen seems like he's got more battery in comparison towards his rivals there as well. Will he go for the lead of the Grand Prix now? Will he wait? He will go for it right now and put himself into P1. His ERS management, he's able to conserve it efficiently, and it really helps him as well. Fireblade's looking for a move, but the Haas is an RP sandwich. The Haas is in a championship battle. Dylan Vincent's retired the pit lane, so no safety car. But the Haas is in between the championship battle between Fireblade and Jensen as well. So it looks like he's a factor in this race. I wish it was just the top 2 fighting out, but at the same time now, it's interesting to have another car in the mix as well. It could be beneficial for Jensen. It could play a disadvantage for Fireblaze. It could go either way as well. But as long as the Haas man don't crash into one of them, it's all good. Coming towards the closing stage of this race, Jensen goes deep in towards the slow speed corners. Can catch a lot of people out as well for good measure. But look at ERS management. He is so sufficient. Even though he's leading the Grand Prix, his ERS management is so good, which is able to help him in the late stage of the Grand Prix. If he can keep this up, then it'll be beneficial for him in the last few laps of the Grand Prix when he's been hunted down by Fireblaze and the Haas. What about Fireblaze in P3? What can he do in P3? Can he fight back? Can he find his way back through on the Haas in front of him? He also needs to work on his ERS management too. It's just like last season as well, where Fireblaze had a few ERS concerns, and he was just able to save enough, which really cost him dearly in the latter part as well. So I think he also needs to work on his ERS management, but how is he going to do that with 5 laps left to go? I don't think he's worried about ERS management. I think he's worried about just in front of him. As they scrape the wall once again out of turn 16 we go. But Jensen has the Haas right in his clutches, right in his heels as well as we head down in towards turn 1 we go. On board with the Haas man. He has got the benefit of the new tyres, has Jensen. Now how much of a benefit will it be? Just 1 lap difference is between Jensen and the Haas in P2 and Fireblaze as well in P3. Is first place where you want to be in the last few laps of the Grand Prix? Because you can put you under massive pressure. A dose of DRS on a 1.9, 1.2 from the street. Sometimes the move is not always done. If the guy in front can save enough battery left in attack mode, or defense mode shall I say, in the last few laps, it could work if the gap's like 7 or 8 tenths behind. I think all these guys now could be in ERS management mode. I think the Haas is in the best spot in the house now to just save battery, cuts the curve going towards turn 12 there as well for good measure as he stamps the loud pedal once again. But not going to go for the overtake on this occasion. He wants to play smart, but Fireblaze in the background has lost the DRS towards, not yet, Nordus, but he's almost out of DRS range. Come on, Fireblaze, get yourself back in the DRS, mate. Just lost himself DRS or 1 second range just momentarily, did Fireblaze. So I think he might be struggling with tyres, could be suffering with the pressure just a little bit. Might not able to contend with the pace of the top 2 because they're blistering pace. Fireblaze may have made a mistake towards turn 12, so hopefully he doesn't do it again. But he's almost dangerously outside of 1 second range of DRS as well for good measure. So the top 2's pace is looking superb so far. While Jensen remains under threatened, under pressure once again from the Haas behind. Remember, there was only 30 points to separate Fireblaze and Jensen, but it could come down. It could cut down even more between Jensen and Fireblaze as well. So Fireblaze there in the last 2 races got his work cut out and a lot to do in the last couple of races to try and keep Jensen at arm's length. But does Abu Dhabi suit him? Does Silverstone suit him? I'm not quite sure. He missed out in Silverstone last season, didn't he? With the pace not going so well, where Kanane was able to capitalise and take the championship in the final race. He's going to go down to the wire here in Silverstone in 2 weeks' time between those two. And I should be there to commentate. I don't want to miss the final race of the season. although I missed most of it. But I've been racing whilst here in SFR. There is still 14 people left in this race. Feel sorry for the guys behind because they won't get much screen time, but Klausner's still chasing down. You know what? These two have been stuck together like glue. Go back on board Jed, see what happens between those two. Nothing for the time being. Oh, Jed's there. Makes a slight mistake as well going towards turn 14. Mistakes start to creep in. Maybe due to the pressure. The intense pressure from the Haas behind. Could be starting to affect Jedson. We can't shake him off for the time being. And Fireblaze as well. Fireblaze's got the worst battery in the top three. He has got the worst battery. But we all know his EMS management is not his strength. And I really hope whoever's in front of him gets out of the way. The Haas needs to get out of the way right now. Pull over to one side and get out of the way. Hopefully he does. He's got blue flags. Yeah, so the Haas in front has got blue flags. I really hope he's not helping the guy, but I hope he's not helping his teammate either. I don't see how this will help his teammate, but he needs to get out of the way right now. So it is a Haas Alpine. But it looks like the Haas is not moving out of the way for so far. You're obliged to get out of the way if there's blue flags, and this will give Jensen DRS. This will give Jensen DRS, and he should get out of the way right now, which he does. So fair play and respect there for Martin in P14. Sometimes the races have been influenced by back markers, and we don't like to see it either. Moenimo's 2.2 seconds away, so he's not able to catch up. Fireblaze P3 still in this DRS fight, but he's running out of time to make any sort of move on the guy ahead of him. He just can't seem to get close towards the back of the RP driver, but the Haas man super close as we head down in towards turn 14 we go, but not yet. Can't make a move just yet either in towards this corner. There is 2 laps left to go after this one. And it's a top 3 fight, a titanic battle all the way down towards the checkered flag and the line. It's going to be an interesting one indeed between these 3. Which one of these 3 will come out on top? Jensen leads, but for how much longer? Because he's got the Haas right behind him, who's poised and hungry to make a move. Jensen once again, he seems to be making mistakes in the same places. Turns, I think it's turns 7 and 8. But there's 2 laps left to go here in Las Vegas, and look at the top 3. Jensen leads, but the gap has shrunk, and he's absolutely feeling the pressure now. Right behind him is the Haas man, the man who thrives in late race pace, and then just a corner further back is the championship leader. Oh, Jensen made a big mistake. He's made a big mistake in towards, but is this tactical? Because on the last lap, he might want to be behind of the Haas man as we head down towards the 1.8 kilometre, 1.2 straight. The Haas will have the DRS wide open, but doesn't go for it just yet. Fireblaze is there with P3 too, but here comes the Haas side by side. Does he really want to go for it right now? Is that the right thing to do? I don't think that was the right call, you know. He may have cost him as well. I don't think that was the right call there from the Haas, because now Jensen will have the DRS at the back of him on the straight, so I don't think he played that right to perfection there. But Jensen made a big mistake out of turn 12, and Jensen's tyres are fading. You can see him there just struggling every time he gets off throttle. Every time he touches the throttle, the car doesn't seem to be giving him the traction he needs. But now it's the dirty air of Nordus. It is the final lap of the Grand Prix, then the final attack, and Fireblaze is too far back as we head down in towards turn 4. And I think the Haas made the wrong call there indeed. But Jensen does struggle through this particular part of the track. You can see that these guys are harvesting the battery as much as they can. Fireblaze, what can he do against his teammate? He's got more battery in comparison towards him, but can he do anything about it? We head into turn 14, and Jensen's right to the back of the Haas driver who struggles for traction, and I think that was the stupid call from the Haas in front to go for the move on the previous lap. Like, we all know the DRS would have been more effective and powerful, but here we go, then Jensen side by side with him as he will take the lead of the race, and the Haas car did about it, of course, so he's just been Caught out by that one. Yeah, it was a stupid thing to do indeed. But here comes Jensen coming down in towards turn 14 then. Just keep it nice and tidy, and he should have the exit he needs. Right then, so Jensen then will come across the line to win in Vegas with the Haas in P2, and Fireblaze gets P3. And that is the end of the Las Vegas Grand Prix for you. Jensen wins. And that is it. Then we'll see you all later. Goodbye for now, and see you all in Abu Dhabi.